get our recordings going.
Try to get this a little bit better. There we go. I'm a little red. I was outside getting set up for graduation broadcast on Friday, so I used my Coca-Cola here to cool things down.
Okay. All right. Let's see. I'm getting. All right, looks like we are live, and welcome everyone to another edition of the LPTV Wednesday webinar. And our guest today is Mr. Corey Hartman from way up north in the Wisconsin area. You're just north of Wisconsin, and you've got some radio and TV stations going, and you've got one of the strangest LPTV situations I know of in the country. So let's get started and go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about TV 43 there in Wisconsin.
Sure. You said the same thing that my lawyer does every time I talk to him in DC. He's like, this is the most purple cow that you've ever seen. So we're only about 45 minutes of Madison, Wisconsin. And because of that, our LPTV station has always been precluded. I went back and looked. I've only owned the station for about 3 years, but I went back and looked, and apparently every window for rural LPTV had this restriction. First, it was 100 miles from the top X number of markets, and then it became 75 miles from the top 100 markets or something. We've always been geographically precluded from having a full license. So my TV 43, which is still on the air right now and still in analog, has been operating on an STA, or Special Temporary Authority, since 1998.
I think that you set the record of the longest running station as an STA that I've ever heard of.
I would have to think that probably beats some sort of record, Guinness or otherwise. And as far as I can tell, it's just been rubber stamped over and over and over every 6 months. So we're talking 42, 43 times that they've stamped it. Obviously, television in a small area like this, we've got a big bluff between here and Madison, so it blocks some of the signals coming this way. And for some people in this town and other surrounding towns of 10 to 12,000 people, we're the only TV station they can pick up on their little television on their dresser before they go to bed at night. So it's definitely an interesting thing, and we try to program it locally and program things that people in the local community, demographic of 50 and above, would like to watch.
Well, hopefully with our brain trust of people that we have online today, somebody has the exact idea of how to get you to be a real TV station sometime. Yes, obviously that should have been done some time ago, and I know you have just inherited this mess just recently. So moving on in regards to, yes, you do have somewhat of a fight now that everything's transitioning, analog is going away, you're going to have to do something, go somewhere. But tell us a little bit about your market. You are in a rather unique place. You are in the Madison market, if I understand correct, but you're kind of in an isolated area because there are no signals crossing the bluff into your area. So tell us a little bit about your station and the service that you do for your area.
Right, and I'm in the Madison MSA, but not the Madison DMA. So I think that's really probably the only reason why this has survived, 22 years. because there are no other full power signals licensed to Sauk County, which is the county that I'm in. All of the full powers are down in Madison, which is Dane County. And so I'm pretty sure that's probably one of the, secret sauces to this whole thing that has caused this. But we're everything that we do on radio. The radio's been here since 1961. Small town AM station, finally have an FM translator now. And then the TV, as I said, was added in 1998. And really it has been just a video link to the community, just the same as the radio has been. The Baraboo area here and Wisconsin Dells is all about tourism. Wisconsin Dells is the water park capital of the world, and Baraboo's the home of Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Circus. The Ringling Brothers winter quarters were here for 30 years. And so, rich in history, rich in natural beauty. And so, the biggest thing that we do every year is the circus parade, the Big Top Parade, where 3 gigantic elephants and all of the circus wagons and clowns and marching bands go through downtown Baraboo for over an hour and a half is the length of this parade. And it brings in 25, 35, 40,000 people and over $2 million to the economy every summer. And unfortunately this year with coronavirus, that was canceled, but it's really like I said, the TV station is the link to the community for people that either can't get there or they're out of town or they're shut-ins or whatever the case may be. We've got 3 local churches on the air, a lot of outdoor programming, a lot of hunting and fishing programming, a lot of tourism, Discover Wisconsin, Midwest Outdoors.
Going on back there.
What's that?
I see a little bit of Bonanza.
And Bonanza, yeah, right. So yeah, we've got the rights to Bonanza and Beverly Hillbillies and those types of things that you've seen on cable TV and low power TV for 40 years. People like to see them, and it's a good break between like I said, hunting and fishing and tourism and that sort of thing. But we really, try to cover the city itself. We broadcast our council meetings. The city council is twice per month, so we broadcast those in its entirety. Last night, in fact, was a pretty heated discussion over a potential mask ordinance in town. And so you can imagine that, and we stream all of that stuff online, but there's a subset of the population that they're just not going to watch it on Facebook. And that's really who we serve. And there's a subset of population that doesn't have cable television anymore. And I'm sure that number's going to grow with the state of the economy right now. So again, it's just a community link, back to what's going on. And it's exactly what local broadcasters, in my opinion, are supposed to do and have done for dozens and dozens of decades. Right. Now, I understand I've caught you in between setups. This is a busy day for you because you have your local graduation today, is my understanding. So I assume it's a little bit different because of the virus, but get into some of the local programming that you do. You mentioned some things, but on a day-to-day basis, you have free churches running. What else do you do on a local programming? And let's set the virus aside for the moment. We'll come back and we'll talk about things that you're doing different because of the virus situation. But what are kind of some of your day-to-day local things that you guys do? Sure. We have a really great working relationship with many different organizations and municipality type people in town here. So our mayor, our Chamber of Commerce director, our chief of police, any of those people know that they have access to this TV station anytime they need it. And, just recently, we've had, in the last year, we had some pretty bad flooding in the area. So we covered all of those, breaking details and press conferences and all of those kinds of things. And just a few weeks ago, we had a missing girl in town in her young teenage years. And there was basically a 24-hour search for this little girl. And we were running all over town because there'd be a press conference here and one there and then one over at City Hall. And then, finally the breaking details at the resolution of that, which ended up to be a very sad thing. But we were there with the people of Baraboo. I call them the GPOB, the good people of Baraboo, to be their eyes and ears on what was going on, especially for the fact that a lot of people are home, a lot of people working from home, but those that were at work, they can watch it on the stream. The people that were at home, they can watch it on the stream, but if they have television, if they have cable, if they have an OTA antenna, they can pick up what we were doing, and they can see in real time what was going on. So, in addition to that, we're constantly covering, the goings on in the city, whatever's going on. We give a lot of airtime to nonprofits. We helped 40 nonprofits last year. That's commercial time and interviews with newsmakers. And during, you said to stay away from coronavirus, but really for the last 5 months, we've been producing local content. I've had singers and jugglers and clowns and all the people that don't really have a platform right now because everything's shut down. I've invited them in to stay 6 feet away, because with the magic of a zoom lens, you can do that, and it still looks great on television. So
we can go ahead and go into that discussion. So what have you specifically been doing differently today that you didn't do before all of this virus stuff? And one other thing, while I'm asking questions about where you've been and what you do, are you carrying these things live, or are you tape delaying them? Do you have facilities to maybe use live view, or what are your capabilities?
Yeah, no budget for live views here. Those are a little bit spendy. But in my other life, I actually run a streaming company. So I run a company of storm chasers that go out and they shoot live video from their dashboard, and we sell that to national networks, CNN, Weather Channel, that sort of thing, and a bunch of local TV stations. So I've run this streaming platform for about 15 years, so I can get a signal pretty much from anywhere to anywhere using my server. So that's how we do it, and we try to do absolutely as many things live as we possibly can. We also have a high-speed microwave link between our studio and the courthouse square. Baraboo has a beautiful downtown square in front of the courthouse with grass and trees and everything, and we have a link there, and when we need to do something downtown, we just hook into that link and beam it back to the studio. We're only about 5 blocks from downtown, right on the north side of downtown. So we try to do as many things live. We can do taped, edited pieces, but then you've got to take the 8 hours to edit whatever it is. So I prefer live sometimes, just from an editing time standpoint.
Yeah, sometimes live can be a lot easier and a lot better when we do it that way.
I don't know about better every time, but it's definitely easier.
Well, content is king, so we'll still hold to that. So what are some of the things new that you've brought to your program schedule since the virus has hit?
Yeah, so the Sauk County Health Department is very active, and so they are constantly giving updates on numbers and cases, and we have more time than the network affiliates do to concentrate on our county. So we will give all of the numbers, all of the cases, all of the people that have recovered, all of the negative cases, some of the things that you don't hear in the news on the big guys, we can delve into a little bit further. So we make sure, that's on there. We've added more churches because none of our churches, at least not up until about the last few weeks here, have been able to, certainly they're not in full session. There's a good subset of people that won't go to church right now, but they still want to be connected to their congregations. And so we've got the Lutheran Church, the Catholic Church, and the Presbyterian Church on the air right now. And that's, and there's an inquiry about every week from other churches or other groups that want access to the channel, everything from, senior fitness and park and rec and things like that. So we try to do as many of those things as we possibly can. we're one step away from PBS. That's what I say all the time, or public access. We actually do run 2 public access channels here as well on cable for the city of Baraboo and also for the school district of Sauk Prairie, which is just south of us here. So yeah, we crank out a lot of video. It's probably neck and neck with the amount of radio that we crank out of here.
All right. Well, you mentioned PBS style. I assume you probably sell programming and commercials. Is that correct? You're not a nonprofit that I'm aware of.
Correct. Yeah. The over the air 43 is you know, for profit. It's part of our Baraboo Broadcasting Corporation here, and you know, there's a good contingent of local businesses that you know, love their video ads, and you know, especially when we do these parades and some of our other you know, we broadcast the fireworks, we're doing the graduation like you mentioned on Friday, and so when we get sponsors on those, you know, in fact my attorney asked me this question yesterday. He's like, so is the TV just a bonus thing if, you know, people spend you know, $12,000 on radio ads? And first of all, I'm like, nobody's spending $12,000 on radio ads. Do you just bonus the television? And I said, no, actually people buy the television production, and then I might throw in 10 or 20 bonus radio spots and promos. So the TV gets its own attention, and it's its own animal.
Well, that's a good thing. So have you offered any special packages though for advertisers, or done anything special for them during this time?
Yeah, absolutely. So I did do a combined radio and TV buy, you know, a few $100, and you know, you got some 15-second ads on the television, and those were, again, the editing time is what kills you. So you know, these were, you know, pictures of the business, some text floating by, and a voiceover with some music, which is just their 15-second radio ad with some visuals added to it, so that they could get on the air. But our biggest thing here was so many businesses were, you know, closing and then reopening and then changing hours and then doing all of that sort of thing. And so, you know, it was kind of our job to put those updates on both the radio and television, and it was the freshest, most up-to-date hours and services. And you know, and we're talking, some of these services were essential businesses. We're talking banks and insurance companies and grocery stores that, you know, people needed to know, can I go to Walgreens? Can I pick up my prescription? Can I go get my groceries? Can I get in the bank lobby? Well, no, you can't. You've got to use the drive-through, and you know, they've extended their drive-through hours and all of that sort of thing. And that is information that, yeah, you can spend 15 minutes, 20 minutes digging it out on Facebook if the business has updated their Facebook listing, or you can just tune in and see the scroll on television or hear it on the radio station every hour.
All right, we have reached our 20 minutes after the hour, the time that we open it up to let our audience grill you or ask you questions. And so I'm going to invite our audience to ask their questions. They can use the Q&A down at the bottom of their screen, usually on most devices, to hit the Q&A button for a question for Corey, or if you want to raise your hand, and I will bring you into our discussion live. So this is the point in time that we put Corey on the spot, and you can ask him some questions. While we wait for that, do you have any resolution potential, since you've been speaking to your attorney the last couple of days, in regards to what you're going to do to survive as an LPTV station?
So we have already applied for Channel 16 digital. You know, we did the full engineering study. We found that we aren't causing interference to some of the other stations that are in the state that are on that frequency. We bend away from Rockford, Illinois. We don't interfere with Rhinelander, Wisconsin. So so it looks like Channel 16 will be a good fit for us. Fortunately, our antenna bays are wideband, so I can tune to any frequency in the UHF band there. So that helps. You know, we're going to have to get a transmitter, and first we have to get FCC approval to do so. You know, we're still precluded from having a full license here in town. So so we've applied for another channel 16 or for another STA on 16, but we've asked for it obviously in digital because a year from now it's a full analog shutdown. So while that may get increased, they've been pretty steadfast on saying you know, analog's time is up. And so we want to make sure that you know, we can continue to serve people. And I think we'll pick up more people, you know, with the whole repack and everything that's been going on. People are rescanning their TVs all the time. They're more used to rescanning their TVs to see what's free out there. And I think if we were in digital and maybe even a sub channel or two someday, I just think we could serve the residents even better. So, you know, right now I'm trying to get my local authorities, you know, figureheads to write me some letters of recommendation to pass along to the FCC. I've already been kicked out of the video division and right up to the chief of the media bureau. So that's kind of where we're at right now. I'm also pushing down from the top because I have some friends that are friends with the commissioner, and so I'm trying to see if I can push from the top down as well. You know, I get the history and the intention of the rule. You know, you don't want a rim shot TV station that, you know, goes 30 miles outside of a big market and then puts up an antenna and then rotates the beam toward the town, and the next thing you know, you've got, you know, another big signal in the big town making the big bucks, right? But I mean, since the very first engineering study was done on this TV station in 1996, and I was just pulling out some of the inch of dust binders in the back to look up some of this history, it's always been a null toward Madison, and our signal is for Baraboo, Reedsburg, and Wisconsin Dells. And that's who we want to serve. We don't want to serve Madison. We want to serve where we live. I live in Reedsburg, so we want to serve the local community. It's, you know, 66,000 maybe population within our signal and our estimated signal for 16 if it gets approved. So you know, that's what we want to do. We've never tried to hit Madison. It'd be great if we could someday get some of that agency cash, but that's not our focus when we're up here doing parades and butter festivals and whatever else up here. So
right, from everything I've seen about your operation there, you are what I would call the poster child of low power television, a way the local mom and pop operation should be operating to serve the local community. And you guys have done a very, very good job of that over the years. And we're hoping that the FCC will shine a good light on you guys and allow you to continue to exist, hopefully with a real license eventually, because you do serve the community and you are the only station that serves those cities.
Yeah, and you know, these STAs were always predicated on, you know, the very bottom line said, you know, when a window opens, please file for your full license. And we said, okay, fine. And every time we've said, okay, fine. And the 2 or 3 times that a window opened, it always had that geographic restriction. So we've always been in limbo. And I thank you for saying that, you know, we really try to do local broadcasting, you know, in the essence, in the flavor of what I assume was the original plan for LPTV. You know, but it's difficult. It's difficult when there's you know, additional challenges put your way. And repack, you know, we didn't get any funds. We didn't get any, the window to pick a channel to get a full license, we weren't available for because we couldn't even open an application in the online system because we don't technically have.
We don't technically exist.
We don't technically exist. If you look up Baraboo, Wisconsin on FCC data or any of the other websites out there, you can look and you'll see all these applications for channel 43, but technically I don't even have call letters right now. I'm technically application 6492750. And you know, I don't know if I'm supposed to put that on my legal ID or what, but for now I'm W43BR, and I'm just gonna leave it at that because I technically don't exist.
All right. Well, you may get off easy this week. There is not a single question out there.
Nobody wants to talk about a 42-time renewed STA. I can't believe it.
But maybe the Q&A button doesn't work today. But we definitely have a very large audience watching us today, and we appreciate everyone for joining us. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about your website, where people might find you on the World Wide Web.
Sure. We are at WRPQ.com. That's the easiest, quickest way to get to the radio station here and to the TV 43 listings. And, you know, on Facebook, we tend to push our radio station more. So that's 99.7 Max FM in Baraboo. And you can find our page online for that. We do have a Baraboo broadcasting page as well on Facebook. And I take emails from anybody that can help us out. So KORY@WRPQ.com if anybody wants to reach out and tell me what to do with a 22-year-old STA.
All right, we appreciate everyone for joining us. As you hopefully will see on your screen there, you see some of our sponsors, the ATBA, and be sure and thank them for being sponsors of the ATBA in 2020. And we appreciate them for helping keep us alive. And Corey, we appreciate you taking time from your schedule today to join us and tell us a little bit about your station and your situation. We're going to look forward to next week, hopefully getting to speak to some other station owners that out on the other end of the country, over on the East Coast. So we look forward to speaking with them on our LPTV Wednesday webinar. So we'll see you guys next week. Thanks a lot, Corey.